This is an emergency broadcast regarding a widespread spatial anomaly. We advise citizens to maintain strict observational discipline of their surrounding architecture. The danger we are about to describe does not announce itself with noise or violence. It begins with a simple, quiet impossibility. It begins with a window. You have known your neighbor's house for years. You know its shape, its color, its layout. You know it has 3 windows facing your own home. One day, you will look out, and there will be 4. This is not a renovation. No construction has taken place. The 4th window simply is. It has appeared from nowhere, perfectly integrated into the wall, looking as if it has always been there. This phenomenon is the first symptom of a non-Euclidean architectural infestation, or NAI. The house next door is no longer just a house. It is becoming a host for a parasitic geometry that operates outside the known laws of our 3-dimensional space. The initial human response to this anomaly is self-doubt. You will convince yourself you were mistaken, that the window was always there. This is a natural cognitive defense mechanism known as normalcy bias, the brain's tendency to assume that things will function the way they normally have. The parasite counts on this. It uses your own rational mind against you. But the anomaly will not stop. A few days later, there will be a 5th window, then a 6th. They will appear in illogical places, too close to the ground, overlapping the roofline, sometimes even appearing horizontally. The sheer impossibility will eventually overwhelm your brain's ability to rationalize. The house is not just changing, it is violating the very concept of architectural logic. It is becoming a physical manifestation of a mathematical nightmare. The horror begins not with fear, but with the quiet, creeping certainty that the world. Stage 2 is internal expansion. The extra windows are not just external features. They correspond to the creation of new, impossible spaces within the house. The structure's internal volume is beginning to exceed its external dimensions. It is, quite literally, becoming bigger on the inside. This is a key feature of non-Euclidean geometry, where the normal rules of space and distance no longer apply. We have received reports from observers who have seen inside the house. They describe hallways that turn at impossible angles, rooms that seem to stretch into infinity, and doors that open into other, different rooms within the same house. The structure is no longer a home. It is a labyrinth. It is a living, growing cancer of space. And its growth is exponential. The house is becoming a self-contained universe, a pocket dimension with its own set of broken physical laws. The 3rd stage is the gaze. The new windows are not empty. After a period of observation, you will begin to notice something inside them. At first, it will be a fleeting shape, a trick of the light. But soon, it will become undeniable. A face. It will be pale, featureless, and utterly still. It will appear in a different window each time, always watching you. This is the inhabitant, the entity that is intrinsically linked to the parasitic geometry. We do not believe it is a separate being living in the house. We believe it is the house. The inhabitant is the consciousness of the non-Euclidean space, a sentient architecture observing our world from its impossible vantage points. The windows are not windows in the traditional sense. They are its eyes. And with each new window that appears, the entity gains another point of observation. It is surrounding you, not physically, but visually. You are becoming the sole focus of a vast psychological effect of this constant silent observation is profound. It induces a state of extreme paranoia and scopophobia, the fear of being watched. You will feel its gaze even when you are not looking at the house. You will feel it in your own home, in your most private moments. This is not your imagination. The infestation has a subtle, quantum-level effect on its immediate environment. It thins the barrier between spaces. The feeling of being watched is the result of the inhabitant's consciousness beginning to bleed through into your own reality. It is a form of psychic pressure. The entity is not just looking at you, it is looking into you. It is studying you, learning you from every possible angle. The goal is to break down your sense of security, to make you feel that there is no safe place, no wall thick enough to protect you from its omnipresent, silent stare. What is the origin of this parasitic geometry? The leading theory is that it is a form of spatial mold or dimensional fungus, a life form from a higher dimensional plane of existence that propagates by infesting lower dimensional structures. Our three-dimensional homes are to this entity the equivalent of a petri dish. It finds a suitable host, a structure with a stable, simple geometry, and begins to grow, converting the familiar Euclidean space into its own complex, non-Euclidean form. It is not a hostile invasion in the way we understand it. It is simply a life form's natural reproductive cycle. It is no more evil than mold growing on a piece of bread. But to the bread, the mold is a total, all-consuming apocalypse. We are the bread, and our homes are the food for a form of life that we cannot possibly comprehend. The infestation is contagious. The constant observation from the inhabitant begins to warp the space around the primary target. You, your own home, will begin to show the first signs of infection. A door might open to a different room than it should. A hallway might seem slightly longer one day. The reflection in your window might show the room behind you as subtly distorted. The parasitic geometry is spreading through the medium of your own perception. By observing the impossible house, you have become a carrier. You are a bridge, allowing the infestation to cross the empty space between the two homes. The inhabitant is not just trying to watch you, it is trying to get closer. It is preparing a new home for itself. And that new home is yours. The family living in the infested house, if there was one, is the first casualty. They are not killed, they are absorbed. As the internal structure of the house becomes a labyrinth, they simply get lost. They will walk into a room and be unable to find the door again. They will wander down a hallway that loops back on itself, trapping them in an endless, repeating journey. They become part of the house's ecosystem, another feature of its impossible landscape. Like the echoes in a temporal anomaly, we have reports from observers who have seen the original family members looking out from the windows, their faces as pale and featureless as the inhabitant itself. They have been assimilated. They are no longer people. They are just more eyes for the house to see with, more rooms in the ever-expanding prison. The only known way to slow the infestation is to break the line of sight. The entity's power is directly proportional to its ability to observe. You must block its view. Cover your windows. Board them up if you have to. Do not look at the house. Do not acknowledge its existence. By refusing to be an observer, you starve it of the perceptual energy it needs to sustain its connection to you and to spread to your own home. This is a battle of attrition. You must turn your own home into a fortress, a windowless bunker. The horror is that in order to protect yourself from the monster outside, you must trap yourself inside. You must choose a prison of your own making to avoid being absorbed into the prison next door. But the inhabitant is intelligent. If its visual observation is blocked, it will adapt. It will begin to create new sensory outputs. You may start to hear a low humming sound coming from the direction of the house. A sound that seems to vibrate in your bones. You may smell strange, unidentifiable odors, like ozone and damp soil wafting from its direction. It is creating new windows, not of sight, but of sound and smell. It is trying to find a new way to perceive you, a new way to maintain its connection. The battle is no longer just about what you can see. It is about what you can hear, what you can smell. The entity is relentlessly trying to break through your defenses, using every sense it can fabricate to re-establish its terrifying, silent watch. The final stage of the infestation is assimilation. If you fail to break the connection, your own home will eventually succumb completely to the NEAI. It will merge with the house next door. The space between the two structures will cease to exist. From the outside, it will look like a single, impossibly large, architecturally grotesque building covered in a chaotic array of windows. You will not need to leave your house to enter the labyrinth. Your house is the labyrinth. The inhabitant's gaze is no longer external. It is internal. It is the walls of your own bedroom. It is the ceiling above your head. There is no escape. You have not been invaded. You have been annexed. Your reality has been absorbed into its, and you are now just another feature, another silent resident of the house that has too many windows. This phenomenon could explain many real-world mysteries. The Winchester Mystery House, with its doors to nowhere and stairs to the ceiling, was it the eccentric design of a grieving widow? Or was it an uncontrolled NEAI infestation? The legends of liminal spaces and the back rooms, are they just internet stories? Or are they fragmented accounts from people who have accidentally perceived an infested structure? The fear of liminal spaces, of places that feel wrong and transitional, may be a deep-seated evolutionary instinct, an instinct that warns us when we are near a place where the rules of our reality have begun to break down. It is a primal alarm system, telling us that we are close to a space that is not meant for us. The infestation is spreading. We are receiving reports from multiple suburban and urban areas. The common factor is architectural uniformity. Neighborhoods where the houses are all built to a similar, simple design. This simplicity seems to make them ideal hosts for the parasitic geometry. The entity is a cancer of suburbia. It thrives on the predictable, using our ordered world as a canvas for its impossible, chaotic art. We built these communities as bastions of safety and normalcy, but their very uniformity has made them the perfect breeding ground for a horror that dismantles the very concept of normal. The dream of a safe, quiet life in the suburbs is becoming a nightmare of impossible angles and ever-watching eyes. This broadcast is a final warning. Observe your surroundings. Trust your instincts. If your neighbor's house looks wrong, it is. The number of windows is not a detail you misremembered. It is a symptom. It is a warning sign that the reality you inhabit is under attack. Do not investigate. Do not approach. Do not stare. Break the line of sight. Fortify your home. Your perception is both the target and the bridge. You must choose to be ignorant, to be safe. This broadcast will now end. We cannot risk the signal being traced. Look at your neighbor's house one last time. Count the windows. Are you sure you remember the number correctly? Are you absolutely sure?